They talk about Medicaid cuts.
House Speaker Mike Johnson will try against the odds to muscle a Republican budget blueprint to passage this week, a step toward delivering President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill with $4.5 trillion in tax breaks and $2 trillion in spending cuts over stiff opposition from Democrats, and even some Republicans. According to Assosicted Press, with almost no votes to spare in Johnson's bare-bones GOP majority, the Speaker is fighting on all fronts, against Democrats, uneasy rank-and-file Republicans, and skeptical GOP senators, as he works to keep the package on track. Votes set for Tuesday evening are in jeopardy, and the outcome is uncertain. We do not have time to waste. The American people are expecting us to deliver on this, and we will, Johnson said at a Tuesday press conference. We're working right now to get everybody on board. I think everybody wants to be on this train and not in front of it. The package, if approved, would be a crucial part of the budget process as Trump pushes the Republicans who control Congress to approve a massive bill that would extend tax breaks, which he secured during his first term but are expiring later this year, while also cutting spending across federal programs and services. But Republicans are running into a familiar problem: slashing federal spending is typically easier said than done. With cuts to the Pentagon and other programs largely off limits, much of the other government outlays go for health care, food stamps, student loans and programs relied on by their constituents. It's all unfolding as billionaire Trump advisor Elon Musk is tearing through federal agencies with his Department of Government Efficiency firing thousands of workers nationwide, and angry voters are starting to confront lawmakers at town hall meetings back home. Democrats in the House and the Senate are vowing to fight the whole process. Johnson, whose party lost seats in last November's election, commands one of the thinnest majorities in modern history, which means he must keep almost every Republican in line or risk losing the vote. Already, several lawmakers have objected to the package either because it cuts too much or because it doesn't cut enough. The most conservative Republicans warn it will pile onto the nation's $36 trillion debt load, because the cost of the tax breaks, at least $4.5 trillion over the decade, outweighs the $2 trillion in spending cuts to government programs. More moderate Republican lawmakers worry that the enormous budget cuts being eyed, some $880 billion to the committee that handles health care spending, including Medicaid, for example, or $230 billion to the Agriculture Committee that funds food stamps, will be too harmful to their constituents back home. GOP leaders are trying to convince lawmakers that the details will be debated in the weeks to come and that this week's vote is just a first step. The budget is being compiled during a lengthy process that first sends instructions to the various House and Senate committees, which will then have several weeks to devise more detailed plans for additional debate and votes. Johnson told reporters, "Stay tuned on the details. We are going to do this methodically. We're going to do it in a very responsible manner, and we're going to achieve these goals. There may be a vote tonight. There may not be. Stay tuned. That's why you get paid, hang around here, you have lots to report on." 10 House GOP chairmen of the committees involved issued a joint statement in a show of force to push the package forward. The House's "one big beautiful bill" delivers on the entirety of President Trump's policy agenda, they wrote in a letter obtained by the Associated Press. "We must meet this historic moment with the bold action it requires." Representative Jody Arrington, the Republican chairman of the House Budget Committee, told reporters he recognizes the tension between Republicans who want more cuts and those from politically competitive districts who have a higher level of sensitivity to some of the spending reforms.
Size and scope of government. Our party is committed to that as a core principle. We always have been. And the reason we're excited about what Elon Musk and the team at Doge are doing, the end result of that is going to be achieving the goal that we've always had, and that is to make government more efficient, just as the name of that operation and that project implies. He operates in a certain way. He is a great deal maker, as everyone will have to acknowledge, whether they like it or not. He wrote the book, The Art of the Deal, right?
They talk about Medicaid cuts. Everybody's going to be thrown, according to Democrats, into all these horrible situations. There's only one problem. The word Medicaid is not even in this bill. Every time we've had a big vote on the House floor, We're talking to members all the way up until the moment the vote closes. During the vote, we're talking to members.
This resolution itself contains no policies. It is a framework only, and it's the product of months and months of work completed with the input of over 95% of the individual members of the Republican conference. We do not have time to waste. The American people are expecting us to deliver on this, and we will. And House Republicans need to unite so we can keep this process moving forward, and I think they all understand that. We're working right now to get everybody on board. I think everybody wants to be on this train and not in front of it. Everybody is committed to preserving Medicare benefits for those who desperately need it and deserve it and qualify for it. What we're talking about is rooting out the fraud, waste, and abuse. That I think the vast majority of the American people understand and applaud and appreciate the DOGE effort, the goal to scale down the size and scope of government. Our party is committed to that as a core principle. We always have been. And the reason we're excited about what Elon Musk and the team at DOGE are doing, the end result of that is going to be achieving the goal that we've always had, and that is to make government more efficient, just as the name of that operation and that project implies. He operates in a certain way. He is a great deal maker, as everyone will have to acknowledge, whether they like it or not. He wrote the book, The Art of the Deal, right? He's speaking to both parties to set the table, so to speak, for what that negotiation is going to be. This is very productive. He is the only person on the planet who has the ability to make that happen. You have to give the president room to work. His language and his actions and his decisions shouldn't be second-guessed step by step. You have to allow this process to play out. The objective and our commitment has always been deficit neutrality. That's the goal here. If we can reduce the deficit, even better. But here's another thing everybody needs to consider. Not only are we working to find savings for the American taxpayer, to find a better, more efficient, more effective use of their dollars, which we are morally obligated to do, we also have a moral obligation to bend the curve on the debt. Stay tuned on the details. We're going to do this methodically. We're going to do it in a very responsible manner, and we're going to achieve these goals. And we'll be working with all the members throughout the day to get to that. There may be a vote tonight. There may not be. Stay tuned. That's why you get paid. Hang around here. You'll have lots to report on. We never proposed using the appropriations process to tie the president's hands. It'd be, I think, a gross separation of powers violation and a terrible precedent for Congress to engage in. So that's a non-starter for us, and the Democrats know that. And so it looks like they're in a posture right now that they're making individual appropriations bills almost impossible. We'll find out soon. Stay tuned. There's more discussion today to be had. But we are nearing, obviously, the March 14th deadline. And I'm really hopeful that they'll back off of those outrageous demands because it's unprecedented and I think probably unconstitutional, and it's not anything we'll be a part of. Thank you. Thank you.
Given where you are, would you support a CR right now?